This meeting will be recorded, and I'm going to go ahead and put us in presentation mode, but please feel free to get off mute if you're on mute and share any thoughts that you have as we discuss tonight. So folks, welcome to today's call. We are the National African Student Association Outreach Committee, and we really put together this great presentation for us to engage and have dialogue around what's working and what's not. And many of us on the call may not be familiar with what the National African Student Association is. In 2017, we saw a need, even before then, to bring together organizations like our Black student unions, our African student associations, ASAs, and our Caribbean student associations, and really form an alliance where we can have all of us collectively creating a unified voice to work together to create the skills and bring together the resources that we need to contribute back to our communities. And that includes communities in the diaspora and back home, whether we're in Africa. And our mission, as you see on the slide here, is to unify the collegiate African student body. But we do have partnerships with organizations outside of the collegiate realm, which we'll get a chance to talk about. So I'd love to have anyone that's on the call that's not a member join. We do have some of our committee members here on the line that are going to introduce themselves. I myself am the first individual listed. My name is Yvette Kibwika, and I currently reside in Florida, and I'm a graduate student at Villanova University, completing a master's in human resource development, one of our 2020 graduates. So I'm really excited to be graduating this year with everybody else. And we also have Basaya on the line. Basaya, if you'd like to take over and introduce yourself, please speak up.
Hi, I'm BCA. I'm the vice president for the NEB board. I just joined last year. I'm gonna be, I study health science at school. I guess that's really all about me so far.
Okay. Bethia, thank you so much for introducing yourself, as well as all of your contributions that you bring to the team. And two other teammates that we don't have on the line yet are Dr. Yuri Kanimba at Virginia Tech, a recent grad, and Juliana Odu, who is studying biology at the University of Toledo. And for folks on the line, we'd love for you to check out our website. We have the link below, www.nationalafsa.org, for you to join if you're not yet a member or would like to see a little bit more about what we do. We are present on all social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter. So definitely follow us and provide us some shout outs if you're connecting tonight on today's call. And we've got a few folks on the line that are joining from across the US. We have Mark on the line, Chimaika, and we also have Mary Apollo. Mary, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are? And Mary, you might be on mute, but we'd love to hear some feedback from you. And this is totally an engaging conversation. So if you can speak, definitely use this opportunity to bring your voice to the conversation. And Troy, also on the line from Africa Gives Back International Foundation. If you'd like to come off mute and introduce yourself, we'd love to hear from you as well.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm in another conference as well, but thank you for inviting AGBI, Africa Gives Back International. We do have a lot of partnerships that we do with the ASAs throughout the United States and around the world. So we're just here to hear out what you guys have to offer and to see where we can be of assistance. And if you guys don't know about Africa Gives Back International, we are a millennial ran nonprofit that's ran basically by Africans throughout the continent. We've helped over 6 countries with construction of, well, actually implementation of educational supplies, medical stockpiles in West Africa, as well as the creation of clean water sources. So we work in the realms of health development and education, and we are Millennial Ran. Just want to make sure we say that, and we are African Ran. So yeah, if you guys need anything, just let us know. We're going to be on mute, but thank you once again, Yvette, for having us on the line.
Great, thanks, Troy. It's a pleasure to have you on the call and hear about your great work on the continent and add value to today's conversation as we dialogue today. And for anyone who hasn't had a chance to introduce yourself, you're more than welcome to speak up, and we'd love to hear from you.
Hi everyone, my name is Chiamaka, and I'm a pharmacy student. I'm calling from Michigan, and I'm just really interested in the organization. I would like to learn more about it.
Great. Thanks for joining, Chiamaka. What university do you go to?
University of Michigan.
Oh, sorry, you said that.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what are you studying?
Pharmacy.
Okay, just make sure everybody hears that loud and clear. All right, so future pharmacists in the room. We absolutely would love your contribution and to have you on board as a team member. So I'll make sure at the end of the call, we have you join, and we'll send a link out to you as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and I know a few more folks are still on mute, so you're welcome to unmute yourself at any time. And as we talk about today's conversation, our focus is on our community empowerment. Folks, do we really have the tools to be successful? Whether
Hey, Yvette.
in the diaspora or not.
Hey, Yvette. I think somebody's raising their hand.
Oh, yeah. Mark, I see your hand up. Go ahead. Mark, it looks like you might not have audio on today's call because we can't hear you. I don't see a microphone next to your icon. If you log back into the meeting or look at the control settings up at the very top of your window, it will say next to remote control, more. And if you select more, there's an option for the audio. And next to the microphone, there is a drop down as well, where you can select either the speakers or turning the phone audio on, where it will allow you to dial in and give you a call to join today's meeting. Feel free to send me a chat as well if you're having trouble joining the audio portion, just in case that's not working. As everybody gets on the audio portion, because that's really a huge component of today's call, we'd love to hear from everybody. Definitely let me know. Hit me up either private message or chat and let me know that you're having trouble getting in. And for those of us that can talk, if you have your mic on, please tell us what tools you might be using, what's being implemented out there in the community when it comes to what's working and what's not. because we really want to answer this question by the end of tonight's meeting. Do we have the tools for us to be successful as a diaspora? And I want to pose the first question: what's not working? And anybody can speak up regarding what's not working in the community. And sometimes I like to think about some of the things, the hurdles we have to jump through as a diaspora. No matter where we're from, we might have things that constrict us. I know from a lot of our backgrounds, there are obstacles, whether it's financial obstacles or just having not having support networks. What are those things that don't work in our community? Yep. And Mary, I think your mic is on. We just heard you.
Yeah, I'm back and my mic is on. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Okay, thanks. And can you tell us a little bit about what's not working in the community?
Mm. Okay, I work with youth in the community. I haven't been that long in the diaspora. I have 4 years in the United States. So mostly the work I'm trying, I do activism and I do training supporting the youth in the diaspora to help them be part of the development in back home. In terms of what is not working, oh, I think we just the issue of networking is not built up well in the community, and because we have a lot of resources that is around in the United States, but most of us we can reach it because of the lack of knowledge. So first I would say lack of knowledge and connection. Yeah, and then just let me stop here, then maybe I will come back and talk more about it.
And those networks are important. So you're not seeing them, other people are. And Troy, have you faced any hurdles working with the community or seen the hurdles other people face?
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I'm just getting out of another conference, so we're back to back. What was the question? I'm sorry, you said.
Sure. Have you seen it in the community?
It's like it's muffled on your side. You said in the community. What?
Have you experienced any hurdles in the community?
Well, us as an organization, like an international one, obviously there are challenges, but the best thing is to find ways to overcome them. I can't specifically state what those challenges are, but what I do know is that Africans as a unit, we need to start working as a unit and not so much as divided, like divided states. Even though we have over 50 countries. I think it would be great if we do have a time or period where we can come all together and basically show people that we don't need as much outside help. We're more than able to help ourselves. We do appreciate the outside help, but we are also able to help ourselves. I don't know if that makes sense on your end.
Yes, that does. I definitely agree because I can see areas where we struggle to work together as a larger community. Sometimes it's almost like we're being divided and conquered uh, unknowingly, or with the barriers, these territorial barriers, the country, nations that we might be loyal to, and even sometimes no loyalty within our own communities. And I want to share this slide here that a few folks brought up in the conversations we've had in the past as a group, overcoming our negative stereotypes. I know, Mary, you work with human rights, and just overcoming the hurdles of those challenges and what other people think of us. Troy, as you mentioned, and Mary, as you mentioned as well, the resources that we have, are we really taking advantage of them? Are we sharing what we know with other people? Do we even use those resources? Do those resources even exist? And those networks, are they there for us to take advantage of? And one other thing that was pointed out in a recent conversation we had was not prioritizing our goals. Are we looking at, for example, I know a few folks that might be victims of this, like myself. You know, I want to go out and buy the latest this, the latest that, versus saving my money and putting it away for something bigger, like a down payment on a house or a huge investment purchase. So what do our priorities look like, and how are we moving forward? And Troy, I love the optimism that you bring to the table, because we really should also focus on what is working and how we are overcoming. Because if we focus on what's not, we're only going to dwell a lot on what's holding us back. And these are just a few things. But I do want to talk about something that the AU, the African Union, wanted to share with us. They are one of the partners with the National African Student Association, and as an education cluster, their African curriculum organization found a few things that weren't working when it came to the recent COVID-19 response. As many of you are seeing, there's a huge digital divide where our youth do not have access to the internet or computers. So what that is one of the other things that might be hindering us from having resources. We just might not have as many tools as other counterparts, other cultures. So we wanted to share that tidbit with everybody on the call tonight. And we thought it was insightful as we move forward as a community. And focusing on the positive, everybody, what is working? What's great in our community? What are we doing right? And anybody can feel free to chime in. And I know, Basia, you've been a part of some great work in the community. We'd love to hear from you and see what is working, especially from a student perspective. And Chamaika as well, if there's anything that's working on your campus at the University of Michigan.
And when you say things that are working, do you mean for the African diaspora in particular, or just as a group, or as Africans as individuals. Because I know one thing that Africans, I can say I've seen in most Africans is just the pure drive and the passion. And I won't say that's something that we're getting, it's something that it's inborn. So that's something I know it's working, and I've seen it.
Yes, thank you. And that can be from both perspectives. And you are right, we do work really hard.
That's true. Just the need to succeed at anything. Like everything we do, we try to be the best, try to succeed at it. Like it's just something that's very admirable.
Mhm. I couldn't agree more. It's like we have this innate ability or drive, as you mentioned, for us to just go 110%. Especially, I've seen folks that have just come here to the US with $5 on their back and just built multi-million-dollar companies here in the diaspora, and folks that only spoke French and learned English and assimilated and are doing exceptionally well. Is there anything else that is working, folks? Things that are standing out to you?
Yes, this is Troy. I think Africans as a whole are beginning to that are in the diaspora are beginning to align more so with their culture. So anywhere you see us, you will get a hint that yeah, we are probably in the West, but we are from X, Y, and Z country. So we're pretty much appreciating where we're coming from a little more, opposed to the previous generations. And I think that really speaks to a lot of us millennials that may be first gen or second gen here. So I think us aligning more with our culture is something that we're doing more, especially in the ASA and the youth communities.
And, and Troy, why do you think that might be happening? Why might that be important for us, or especially the millennials?
Because we do need to show appreciation. We need people to know exactly where we're coming from in order to align with a certain population, because we need people to know, basically. I don't know really how to answer your question. Like we we do need people to know where we're coming from. Yes, we may be in the States, yes, we may be in Europe, but we do need people to know like this intelligence or our ways of life may be different. How we are in public versus how we are at home. Our upbringings are different. That doesn't mean it's a good thing or a bad thing. It just means that we have a difference to offer. I don't know. It's more of an appreciation and a pride that you definitely need to show, because if you ask anyone else from any European country or probably a Latin American country, you definitely see that they have pride in themselves and their country. And I think right now that's pretty much what we're showing, being that if you're from West, South, Central, East, North, Africa, all of us, we're basically honing on our culture. Like if you're from Congo, you're definitely gonna let people know you're from Congo. If you're from Sierra Leone, you'll let them know it. Obviously, that's not the first thing you say, but it is a great conversation starter, and it is, I guess, a really respectful type of pride that you should have and hold true to yourself.
Yes, that's right. Or Jamaican as well. So no matter where we
Diaspora counts as well. The diaspora is all one.
and it's just the most beautiful thing seeing all of our diversity and each and every one of us being proud of it. If other cultures are proud of where they come from, their history, why can't we as well? It's definitely not a new trend, but we're seeing more of it in the last 10 years. And as you mentioned, our millennial generation has really umped that to the next level. Even in the workplace, I don't know if anyone wears African attire or any dashikis every now and then in where they work, but or even out in public. But it's definitely something that we are all growing even more appreciative of. So it's a beautiful thing. And Chamaika, was there anything that you wanted to share? And Juliana, thanks for joining the call.
No, not right now.
Okay, so I did want to share this next slide showing a little bit of what we've seen in the community, especially when it comes to our contributions as a people. Troy, as you mentioned, working more together as a people to bring positive change. Many of you have probably heard of the Afropolitan series that is spread across the US, mainly based in New York, Washington, DC, and the LA area. They've been able to come together, especially in this recent COVID divide, to bring together a series and offer DJing and really a nonstop experience and raise money for our diaspora members. And they haven't yet set where they're going to donate the money or what they're going to do with it. But they recently had an incredible turnout of people come together on Zoom to party for COVID relief. We also have seen a Ugandan organization, Twegaite International, collect donations for the COVID response in their region in Uganda. And a big shout out, it's the third image on this slide, to the Zambian community, which was able to host a concert as well with a series of artists and raise over $17,000. So if anyone is interested in getting together and doing that work, we as the National African Student Association are available to partner and get some things going in your region or area. If you see a need, as we all probably do, to get work done to push a response, a greater collective response. Right now, we're seeing that done at the regional level. And we're also seeing a lot of student engagement. We recently hosted an African night, which a few of us on the call might have been a part of, which is the first image here. And a number of students entered for a cash prize to win money to dance and show their skills. And that was a great turnout. Over 150 students came on Instagram Live to watch each other dance. So that was pretty cool. We're also hosting a series of talks called NAFSA, National African Student Association talks, and allowing professionals and other industry leaders to share their wealth of knowledge, whether they're pursuing degrees in biology, business, pharmacy, or creating businesses. We want to hear from them and hear about their background and what's working for what they're doing in their communities to either raise awareness or create a collective response and being entrepreneurial and really sharing their skills. And we're seeing a really great turnout of individuals that want to share their knowledge and be a resource for the community. If you are one of those individuals, we do encourage you to join our cause. We do invite you to be a guest and share a number of different resources that we have. I know a couple of us on the call may be able to be donors or sponsors of different events. So if that is you, definitely don't hesitate to speak up and reach out so we can get you involved or partner with you in some kind of way. So we'd love to continue that momentum of what is working, because at the end of the day, it's all about our community and bringing together things that work. We had a survey a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, from our student population, and they told us some of the things that worked for them were getting access to scholarships, having career advancement conversations, and also having access to seed money so that they can build wealth and have the opportunity to change their lives. So there are different hurdles that we're all facing, but it looks like we're all kind of trying to go towards a similar story of success and become better tomorrow than we are today. And I want to stop and ask if anyone has any final thoughts that they'd like to share together based on today's conversation of what's working and what's not as we close out today's call. And Troy, that might come from you based on what you've seen collectively in the community, and Chamaika and Basia from a student perspective.
Can you please repeat the question for all of us?
Sure, you may have some thoughts that you want to share just overall based on today's conversation.
I think it's a great initiative that's being done. I think more things like this should really be happening, especially during this time and even after it. Um, on our side, Afro Gives Back International, we definitely like to figure out a way that we can work with you guys, as well as I am in the international public health sciences sector. So I definitely would like to touch base with you guys on that. And also, there's a lot of other things we can just do to spread the knowledge within the community. So definitely, we look forward to working with you guys, and we do have the skill sets to grow on both sides. So we look forward to working with you. And thanks again for inviting us on.
Great. Thank you, Troy, for that feedback. And we are looking forward to working with you. I'll set up some time so that we can connect. And we also have Humphrey joining us from Maryland. If you'd like to chime in and tell us a little bit about your organization and what's working and what's not in our community, feel free to come off mute and share your feedback.
Hi everyone, Humphrey Navimanya. Actually, I'm from Uganda. I just got stuck in Maryland due to COVID-19 and what is happening around the country. So hopefully you guys are keeping safe. Sorry I joined in late because of network issues. But I'll tell you about Richer Hand Uganda, and also I've been following up what Yvette has been doing, and also about this conversation today. And as well, thanking everyone for contributing a lot to the African diaspora in different ways, and also contributing to grassroots initiatives back in our countries, because at the end of the day, we need the connection and also binding cultures together and also initiatives together. So Richer Hand is it's a youth-led organization that is focusing on sexual reproductive health and rights for young people, but also we focus a lot on youth empowerment programs in terms of creating small generated businesses that later grow up to bigger businesses for young people. But also on our reproductive health issues, we look at gender-based violence issues amongst young people. We deal with child marriages, teenage pregnancies that are one of the biggest challenges that young girls really face in our country. If it comes to issues on FGM, issues on HIV and AIDS related issues. So that's the kind of work that we do, but we put young people at the forefront in addressing some of these issues. So there's so much that we have learned along the way for over 10 years of experience that we've been working with Richer Hand Uganda, and also being an initiative that is empowered by young people for young people. And also, with time, I can really share what has worked for us and what has not worked for us. But also we are still in that journey to figure out, what are the more sustainable kind of approaches we can create to enable us to create more impact, especially on the grassroots level. Because at the end of the day, as an initiative that is born in Uganda, there's a lot of competition that really comes from an international level, whereby if it comes to lobbying in terms of resources, if it comes to changing of policies, if it comes to addressing the real issues within the country and also looking at the context of where we are coming from, especially in Uganda, there's so many challenging factors around it. So having initiatives like these ones and having like-minded people coming together to discuss different issues on what works and what doesn't work, and also what kind of solution we have, I think it's a great platform for us to be, and I'm really happy for the invite, Yvette, that you pushed on. And you can as well know more about Reach a Hand Uganda through our website and our social media pages. Also during this pandemic, we are having quite a lot of activities that we're pushing on and creating awareness around COVID-19, but also sticking on our mission in terms of addressing reproductive health issues, since now it's the biggest challenge, having young people out of school and now they're at home and they're having so many challenges. We're seeing the rise in teenage pregnancies going high. The HIV and AIDS rates are really rising up because young people are home and they're having unprotected sex and they don't have where they can get this information. We're looking at cases of gender-based violence not only affecting the parents but also affecting the young people. So there's so many other reproductive health challenges that most governments are not addressing because they're concentrating so much on COVID-19 issues. But there's so many challenges that are really affecting humanity, especially the young people that are the majority in different countries. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say.
Humphrey, thank you. And do you plan on expanding to the diaspora?
Yeah, Richard Han, we are planning to expand to the diaspora, starting from, we're now into registration because we are registering a 501c here. In terms, we've been working with some foundations, individuals that have been supporting our work back in Uganda. And also our mission now is to construct over 20 health centers across the country. That is one of the objectives to why we're expanding so much in the diaspora. So as Reach a Hand, we are registering a Reach a Hand Global department in the United States, on which is going to support us to connect, especially with the young people within the diaspora, and also the different individuals and different foundations that are willing to support grassroots issues back in Uganda. So by 2021, we should be launching our diaspora office within the United States of America.
Okay. Wow, and thank you for that information. As we see development really taking form and taking action, we still have a lot of challenges to get us to a successful diaspora. And success might look different for everyone. And each and every one of us on the call today is contributing to someone else's success in some kind of way. So I just want to thank everyone for all of the work that you do, even the students on the call, the lives that you're going to touch and change, whether that's in your family or external outside of your family. We all have a voice and the opportunity to continue to shine that light and bring positivity and opportunity for others. So I want to close out the call by thanking you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or reach out to me personally. I will send a copy of today's slides and some web addresses of some of the contacts who we've heard from today, like Reach a Hand and Africa Gives Back International, so we can all have each other's contacts and be a resource. But folks, thank you as well for this great evening. And this is the end of our call. Have a good evening, everybody. If you have any questions, please stay on board. And committee members, please plan to stay on the call for just a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much for having us. Greetings to everyone. Bye.
Good night, everybody.